Welcome to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast urging you to let it go and don't look back. With nationally acclaimed professional organizer Christine Stone and self-proclaimed hot damn mess radio and TV personality Eden Kendall.
Welcome, everybody, to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast for women over 50. My name is Eden Kendall. Christine Stone of Neatly Designed is a professional organizer. And we have had episodes before that are organizing based, and not every episode deals with organization. But when we do, after having as many episodes for nearly 3 years, we've touched on the closet enough times where a lot of people can read the script back to us.
Right.
So please go back in our archives and in search, put closet. You'll find a lot of episodes that'll start you from scratch, including the Organizing Eden series. But this is unique because today, friends, Christine Stone, who keeps a very organized closet, she can't help herself.
Right.
Today, she is going to share her recent experience cleaning out her own closet. Yes, that's right.
Dun.
She took her own advice, even though she, like I said, maintains an organized closet.
Yes.
But this time she actually went in and, as though she was her own client, did the thing.
I sure did.
So,
and it was painful, so I can relate
painful?
to all my clients.
I think it's probably a good thing for you to every now and again put yourself through it so you can remember.
Well, here's the thing. I think when you're in your 20s and 30s and 40s, it's a different closet clean out. When you're in your 50s and I'm 62, this one was a tough clean out for me. And I was shocked because we were already going to talk because it's spring and it's a perfect time to clean out your closet and transition into different seasons. But when I went to do it myself, it wasn't only about spring. It was like, I'm not going to wear this anymore, ever. Like, it wasn't that there was anything wrong with it. My body's changed.
Or maybe even on the inside of your body where things don't feel.
They don't feel right. They don't feel right for the first time ever.
So you gave yourself a good hard talking to.
I did. And, I mean, we'll go over the obvious things you do when you're going to clean out your closet. And of course, the first thing is you want to remove everything and start from scratch.
And you did that.
I did. I removed everything and I only put back what I 100% wanted to wear. I had a maybe pile, which is where I'm talking about how I felt like things had shifted.
Okay.
And I tried them on and some of them honestly still had tags on them. And I said, what was I thinking when I bought this? What frame of mind was I in? Was my daughter with me? Because she's a culprit sometimes. She'll say, Mom, you look great in that. And then I get sucked into it and, buy it. So out went, the first thing was the tight fitting clothes. Now, I wrote this down because I feel like there's a difference between tight fitting clothes and defining your waistline. To me, that's a big difference.
Okay.
Tight fitting clothes are like they fit tight everywhere. They fit tight in your chest. They fit tight around your booty. They fit everything. It's a tight little dress. Okay. Gone. Done.
Yeah.
Over. And even my daughter did what she normally does. You still look great in that, which to me is the kiss of death. For your age. I was waiting for her to say that. It's like, how does your body shift? You don't like your legs maybe anymore. Your arms are a little flabbier. Your butt's sagging. Gravity's
It's a thing. It's the law.
Right.
Not just a good idea. It's the
your
law.
chest has changed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're droopier, you're larger, whatever it may be. Your waistline has changed. And you just don't feel the way you did 10 years ago or 5 years ago. So when you're cleaning out your closet, and I say this not only to myself, but to everybody I help, you have to make your closet for who you are today. I held on to those things for like a year thinking, oh, I'll like them. I'll feel better in them. But the reality is I'm 62, not 52. And people say, well, age shouldn't matter. I'm sorry. It matters. To me, at least, it matters because you really, in my opinion, can look so amazing without trying to look so youthful. You
Sure.
can look fabulous without trying to look, hold on to your youth. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You can look classy. You can look elegant. You can look timeless. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I do because the tight, even the jeans, and we've talked about this. Some
Right.
of it is a Florida thing, just because we are in Florida,
Right.
and so we don't feel a lot of the year like even wearing
Right.
anything that's going to be
Right.
heavy and tight. However, I think it goes way beyond that because I don't even want to be in an air conditioned room wearing something that's super tight.
Right. Well, that's another thing. We do live in Florida. So to wear things like you said that are super tight in July, you just are like, that's not happening.
comfortable.
And then, so let's get on the topic of shorts.
Okay, let's
Okay?
do it.
Now, you're a runner. She has amazing legs.
Thank
I'm going to
you.
say it right here and now. I, on the other hand, am not a runner. And, years of Miami sun through my youth, getting a little spotty on the legs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just age in general. I've even talked to you about my knees look different. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Everything changes. So even shorts I went through and was like, oh no, these are like the shortness of them, how short they are. To me, I had to get rid of quite a few. They're just too short now.
Just too short.
Yeah. So that was eye opening because instead of getting depressed, though, I said, I'm going to buy ones that are classy, timeless, and fit my figure for who I am now. I'm not wallowing in this.
So what do you do in that instance? I'm just getting back to the
Okay.
actual logistics of it. Do you then make yourself a note? You write that down
Yes.
so that you don't feel so, I don't know, afraid even to just get rid of a bunch of shorts. You have a list going saying this is
Yes.
how I plan to replace these?
Yes. I make lists. Anything that I get rid of that I feel needs to be replaced, it's just in my phone under notes. But I make a list because when I'm out and about, or if I'm ordering, my vitamins online and I see that I can order something online from Amazon or whatever, I will order at the same time, whether it's undergarments, socks, whatever. So, and that's another thing now that we're on the undergarments topic. I realized I really needed a separate space for those because I have so many now. Whether it's, the Spanx underwear, the Spanx bras, the Spanx camis, the Spanx
And you like
bicycle.
Honey Love too, by the way, right?
I have a whole one piece of Honey Love. I mean, where it's a one piece.
Shapewear.
And I wear those a lot now. I mean, where I didn't used to.
Because it makes you just feel
Smoothed
more
out.
smooth?
I feel like it makes you more smoothed out and not so lumpy.
Oh.
Yeah,
So now you've had to create space for
I
something that you
created
didn't.
space
Okay.
for those
Okay.
where I did not before. Shoes.
All right. Here we
Okay,
go.
Here we go. Shoes. That did get me a little bit, ladies. I'm going to be honest, because I was a high heel shoes girl. I'm 5'2", so I love me a heel. Okay. But the last event I went to, which was a few weeks ago, I wore like high heel stiletto shoes. And well, let's just say it took me weeks of foot recovery and ice baths and, going to the chiropractor and everything else because I was in such pain. My back hurt, my calves hurt. Anyway, so when I got back from that wedding, I did a huge shoe clean out.
Okay.
Huge.
So anything that you felt could cause that kind of pain,
Yes.
you said no more.
No more. No more. I mean, I just can't do
I
it
have
anymore.
to think that that's the hardest thing to do because shoes, good ones, are expensive, and when you get rid of them, you're feeling that angst of, I paid so much for these, and I only wore them twice.
Well, the good news is my daughter is my same shoe size.
Oh, that is good
So
news.
that's the number one good thing.
Okay, my
But-
daughter, can I just tell you, my daughter wears a child size 3 shoe.
Oh my God.
So I will
she has
not be wearing her
little
shoes.
feet.
Yes, I will not be wearing her shoes.
Yes.
But anyway,
The next thing I did was consign some that she didn't want. So I do consign things that I think are of value.
yeah.
So at least you get something out of them and you don't feel too bad. I have to tell you, that was the hardest part were shoes. Nothing else really bothered me as much as the shoes because I'm so short and I do like heels. So I wrote down what I needed to replace with, which was like wedges or block heels. And I went on and bought myself a couple new pairs so that I would have something to wear because all my pants also are hemmed to higher shoes.
Sure.
So I can't just wear flats with them.
Right. And you're not going to buy pants off the rack that aren't going to be long when you're
Right.
when you're your
Right.
height. So I don't want to veer off of the shoes too quickly. I love the ones you're wearing right now. We've talked about this before. They have a Velcro buckle instead of a buckle,
Yes.
which is nice because then you don't have to put your readers on to buckle your shoes.
And when you bend over, you just Velcro them.
You don't have to be down there too long.
Yeah, I love I have a couple pairs in different colors. And that's another thing. When something does fit really well, especially a shoe, I often buy in another color just so because generally if you go back a year from now or 6, they don't make them anymore. And then
Right.
you're like, why didn't I order it in another color? Anyway, so shoes was a whole nother thing.
Now I'm experiencing some foot things, and we are planning a whole episode on that.
Yes.
National Bunion Day is coming up.
Yes.
And we are going to make sure we have a podiatrist, somebody that is knowledgeable to talk about this kind of thing. And I'm more interested in this than ever before because for the very first time, I had achy feet the other day, just so much so that I felt like it made my whole body not feel well.
Welcome to my world.
Well, I've never had that before.
Oh, it's brutal.
And I felt like I was even, telling my partner here at the TV station, it's like when you get a hangnail, you get the one toe hurts and your whole body hurts.
Yep.
So, it's just.
High heels, I mean, even block high heels can be like start the knee pain, the calf pain, the low back pain.
Yeah.
When you get older, I was a flight attendant and I had to wear stiletto shoes.
Oh, my
It was
gosh.
required by the airline. You had to walk through airports in stiletto shoes. You had to be on the airplane in stiletto shoes. You were allowed to change them to these like flat little slippery looking shoes to serve, food and beverage. But then before the flight ended, you had to put your stiletto shoes back on when you walked down the aisle to make sure everyone had their seatbelts on. And so I think that did a lot of damage to my feet from years of doing that. And now I'm paying dearly for that. But anyway, that's just a little sidebar.
So that's a little thing you could tell your daughters, but they won't listen, so don't even bother.
Won't. And another thing I did recently is I never remove the tags or get rid of the boxes for shoes or clothes until I've walked around my house like for at least an hour in them. I give it an hour because if they are still hurting my feet, they go back in the box and I return them. I did that last week. I returned 2 pairs because I just couldn't make them comfortable. And that's another thing. I'm like, I'll make them comfortable. You can't make them comfortable. They're either comfortable or they're not comfortable, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I took 1 pair to have them stretched by the shoemaker.
Wait, what? That's a thing you do?
Yeah, you can have your shoes stretched.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I as I think about it, I do remember I've had that. I had to get, for some event, some wild race where we had to wear combat boot kind of things. And
Jesus.
I mean, they said put them in a bathtub and then you put on 3 pairs of socks and try to walk around in them for an hour or 2. So that must be what they do at the.
Yeah, I don't know, but it works.
They probably take your shoes off and put them in their own bathtub and walk around.
and walk around in my shoes.
Some man.
Yeah. But it works. It really does work.
Okay.
So if there's a pair that I absolutely love and the only part is like the width part, but still I keep the box because if they still fit the same when I get them back, they go back.
Oh.
Yeah. If they still kill my feet and they hurt, then it really didn't work.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So also with clothes, I can't tell you how many clothes I put on and I'll say I'll wear that later. And then I don't wear it and I put it on again. And I'm like, I still don't want to wear that, which means it's going back because I've tried it on twice now and I still don't like it. So I'm a big advocate on finding out about return policies at stores before I ever buy any clothes from them, because if they don't have a return policy, I don't buy from them. And if they have a terrible return policy where you have like 7 days, I don't buy from them.
Let me guess. You're probably multitasking while listening to this podcast, aren't you? Of course you are. We're all so busy and we work really hard for what we have. So wouldn't it be great to eliminate stressing about fashion? To regain those hours staring at a closet full of nothing to wear? Oh, have we got a great solution for you. Listen, I know I am one to stress about keeping a fresh, high-quality wardrobe, and I'm the queen of buyer's remorse when I do treat myself. That is where Armoire comes in. Check it out for yourself. Go to armoire.style/UU podcast, take a style quiz, and then you get to make choices. You rent the clothes, you wear them, and return them. And before you're even sending them back, you're replacing them with a new selection. It's like having a best friend with an endless closet. Right now, all of our listeners can give Armoire a try and get up to 50% off your first month. That's up to $125 off. Just visit armoire.style/UU podcast. That's ARMOIRE.style/UU podcast and get up to 50% off your first month and never worry about what to wear again. Try Armoire today. Hi, it's Eden. Christine and I have had more conversations than we can count about how some days just feel harder than others. You know, those days when you're doing everything right, you're eating healthy, you're working out, but your energy just still crashes or your mood takes a dive out of nowhere. Nobody is safe when that happens. We've come to realize that it could be hormones. And so if you have felt that way, Happy Mammoth has something that can help. The makers of Hormone Harmony offer a quick 2-minute quiz designed to uncover the root cause of these stubborn hormonal symptoms. It's easy. You just answer a couple of questions about what you're experiencing and where you're at in your life. People who take the quiz really do find personalized insights into their hormone levels, and they give recommendations like Hormone Harmony. It's an herbal formula crafted to support hormones in a normal range, helping with occasional bloating, chronic fatigue, weight gain, the mild mood swings. With over 40,000 5-star reviews and a bottle selling every 24 seconds, those results speak for themselves. So if you're ready to start feeling like yourself again, and that to us is what it's all about, head over to happymammoth.com and take that free 2-minute hormone quiz. For a limited time, get 15% off your entire first order with the code UUPodcast at checkout. That's happymammoth.com, UUPodcast for 15% off today.
And you really should know a return policy before you buy something.
I'll tell a story very quickly, simply because we think we're going to be stretching this conversation into 2 episodes. So I'll tell you very quickly. The skirt I'm actually wearing right now is from Nordstrom Rack. And I bought it in a size that I thought would fit. I don't remember if I just didn't try it on that day, but it's Nordstrom. I figured, okay, easy return. So I could not find the receipt, but it had all the tags on it. And I thought, okay, then I'll just exchange it. Well, I went back and they were not... First of all, I felt like it was just the luck of the draw that the guy that was helping me was kind of accusatory looking at me. But it turned out we used our phone number, so they could pull the receipt up. So my advice is always, even if you don't want to join those little rewards clubs, you should, because they save your purchase in there. And if you do lose the receipt, oftentimes... I know at Ulta they can do it. They can pull it up on your phone number and they can instantly confirm that, yes, you did buy it from them.
Well, or have them email you a receipt. That way you don't have to have the hard copy. I always say that anyway because it's just less clutter, like paper clutter. If that's an option, take it. Let them email it. And then I have a folder that says receipts 2025, and then I can put them all in there. And when I'm looking for something, it's right there in the folder on my computer. But that's so important, especially as you get older, because your emotions on how you wear things changes, and you can't keep the tags, because if you feel like taking it back, then you don't feel guilty because you just never wore it. Once you take the tags off, game over. So they really don't want to take them back. I'm trying to think accessories,
Okay.
belts,
Yes.
belts. I don't know what happened. Some of my belts fit, some of them did not.
Okay.
So that was another thing I had to say, what the heck?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So going through all your accessories, purses, clutches, I went through all of them. Some of them were really fancy and dressy. And I was like, I'm never wearing this again. That's just not my lifestyle now. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So going through items like that maybe you used to go out a lot to really fancy, dressy events. Now, I mean, I just don't hold on to the long beaded gowns or those type of, because it's just not where I go or what I do. And so if I do need something, which is very rare, I'll go and buy something for that occasion. And you can always consign those type of items. It's just, they do want those type of items.
And you know, I've been experiencing clothing
Right.
rental, and I've really enjoyed it. And I think if I had a very fancy event to go to,
Right.
I would 100%, if we were a gown kind of situation, first look at some of the rental companies.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because then you just return it when you're done wearing
You don't
it.
even have to get it cleaned.
Right. It's great. And another thing I did, and you always laugh at me, but what I decided, even though I've always been a neutral kind of gal, is as I have aged, I've kept it very neutral. I mean, I'm always known for wearing black, beige, or white, and then a pop of color in a belt or a purse or a pair of shoes if I get brave enough. But I just think as you get older, the pop of color should maybe be in the accessories and not so much in like the shirt or the pants can be a pop of something, but the blouse stays simple.
And that's for you because,
Yes.
you know, some people pride themselves on being like the bright, you know, they feel great and because it elevates their mood. So everybody is different, but like it's very elegant what you're wearing right now. The pop of color is actually a metal and it's gold
Right.
and it's very, you know, understated and yet very eye catching. So I like
thank
that.
you.
Well, you're welcome.
Well, I also think accessorizing is so easy now because you like I buy some jewelry from Bobble Bar. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Where is that?
Oh, it's online and they sell really great look for less jewelry. So you're not spending $5,000 on a necklace that is kind of trendy. And then when the trend's over, you're like, why did I
and
buy
it's
that?
Bobble Bar?
Bobble Bar.
Okay.
And I buy a lot of those type of items so you can dress up an outfit. You can make it elevated with your earrings. But I just feel like even traveling, keeping it neutral because you can mix and match
Sure.
when you're traveling versus that one floral blouse that, okay, you have the one floral blouse. I just, you know, I save like any kind of prints or patterns for like summertime and maxi dresses. And that's another thing. I've really gotten into the maxi dress because of my legs. Yes, I think that's another thing I've really embraced is like the maxi sundresses, the maxi, you know, dress you can wear with a jean jacket or a little jacket over it. Because if you don't love your legs, it's a great way to look great.
I like the whole idea of stop worrying about it and just cover it up, you know?
Right. That's what I think. I also, you know, it's funny you say that. I started to say, just stop thinking about it and cover it up.
Yeah.
Like I went and bought a lot of like those ankle length, you know, summer pants in linen and said, I'm going to stop worrying about it. I'm just going to cover it up. So buying a lot. And if you find a pair of pants that you really love, that flatter your body, that make you feel good, buy them in a couple different colors, maybe black, beige, white, navy. You know what I mean?
Red, just kidding. Yeah, no, red.
stress me.
That stresses her out, just the very idea of it.
Let's see what else. Sneakers. That's
Okay.
my latest obsession.
All right.
Why? Because my feet hurt all the time.
Yes.
So sneakers, thank you God, they are trendy now.
Very
Okay,
trendy.
very trendy. So that makes me so happy. So of course I have a great basic white sneaker that has a little platform, which I love. I wore that to the golf tournament last weekend, so my feet wouldn't hurt. And then I have so many other different types. I even have a leopard print sneaker.
Oh,
Go
look
Jags.
at you.
For the Jaguar games. And then, so are you into the sneaker
Yeah,
fad? The
I just
Sambas, the Nikes?
I just got a pair of Reeboks that are white. I wanted leather
Yes.
for the tournament, for the
Yep.
golf tournament that they have here in our city every year. I'm not a golf fan, but it's a very social event, and you do a walk around a lot, and you do see the women out there in their uncomfortable shoes, and I always
Right.
shake my head and think, okay,
Right.
first rodeo. But yes, so, and I do like you, I like that they have a little bit of
Right.
a platform, but I'm going to start branching out too. I like the idea of getting some patterns or some things like that.
yeah.
That would be really fun. And I live in now, I see this more and more too, but I have a pair of shoes that are like, they're not Uggs, but they're like an off brand of Uggs that are just, and when I'm walking around the TV station, you can see all of the anchors, all of the reporters, everyone's wearing them because nobody wants to stay in those high heels all day.
No.
But
they
I
really
can't leave in
don't.
them. They would look ridiculous. But, that's where a fun pair of sneakers has become very on trend. You will see someone in a maxi dress even with sneakers or a midi
Oh,
or
I
a
saw
mini.
that a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Sure.
And remember in the 80s, the preppy, where everyone would wear the suits in New York City to go
Yes.
to work, but yet they had sneakers
Absolutely.
on because they were walking through New York City to their job. And and that was like a huge trend.
Yeah.
Of if you were a working woman, you would wear tennis shoes to work.
But now I'm seeing the guys leaving them on all day.
Yeah. Oh, the guys are totally embracing the casual shoe thing, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So really I had to make room more for tennis shoes because those outnumbered regular shoes because, well, I work in tennis shoes too, but I'm saying even to go out, I'm wearing tennis shoes more. And so I think what you have to know is as you age, things you used to be able to tolerate, you just can't tolerate anymore in fashion.
And so stop trying to take up
Right.
space. Well, I like the idea that you're realizing that you have more room for this and less room for that.
Yes.
So you need more room for tennis shoes and shapewear and
Yep.
undergarments and less room for the high-heeled shoes.
Yes. And I also, I really have decided to invest in maybe a little more pricier items as an investment because I think if you can wear it year after year
Oh, yeah.
after year, you've already paid your money's worth other than some of the Amazon products I have received. And I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying the ones I've received, the quality is not that great. It isn't. And it doesn't fit great. And so I've really wanted to invest in, I invested in a really nice blazer. I've worn it a million times.
Oh, you have?
Oh, I've worn it so much. And so, and it's comfortable and it wears well. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I think as I have reached this age, investing in certain pieces, not all the time,
Yeah.
but that I know I could wear year after year, especially, and by the way, no matter what anyone tells you, cheap shoes are not comfortable. You can wear them. I'm not saying you can. I mean, I have Target shoes I wear. I mean, but more expensive shoes, and I don't know what they do to them. I don't know if they line them in gold or what they do to them, but they seem to be so much more comfortable. And I mean, I haven't even bought them. I've just tried them on. I'm like, what is in these shoes that make them more comfortable?
It's
Is it the
unfair.
leather? Is
I don't
it the
know.
sole?
I
What
won't even
is
try
it?
them on because I don't want to ever know what I'm missing out on.
Oh, well, and that's the thing. I sat there and I looked at this woman in the shoe department and I just did it just because I'm like, I have to know.
Yeah.
What is it about?
And you're
right?
talking about like a Jimmy Choo or
Oh, no, not that.
Oh,
Veronica Beard, but they were like $400.
that's
I'm
still very
sorry.
expensive.
I was going to say, I mean, you
Yeah.
know, that's still something I'm not buying. But anyway,
Right.
But I was interested because I loved the style. It was timeless. It was beautiful. So I said, okay, I'm just going to try it on.
Sure.
Big mistake because that's all I've thought about ever since I left that shoe store. But I said to her, what is it? Why are these so comfortable? They even have a heel on them, and they are super, super comfortable. And she's like,
I mean, they can knock anything off. Why can't they figure it out?
I don't know. But and then, of course, they've been on my brain. But
I mean, if Walmart has a Birkin bag now.
right. That
the
makes
workin'.
me laugh so hard. A workin'.
How
That
come we
makes me
can't have
laugh.
some Jimmy Choos from the Walmart?
Yeah. So I thought it was definitely an adventure, and it was really great for me because spring is such a busy
Yes.
time in my profession. So now I feel like I'm even more connected to people because I really, really looked at myself and said, this is hard.
It's hard.
I mean, this is hard as you age, to really have a talk with yourself and say, times are different, my friend. What used to work doesn't work anymore.
I have an idea for a full episode that we can do another day. And I know it doesn't sound at the surface like it is one, but I think an episode entitled The Maybe Pile.
Yes.
Yes. Someone should write that down.
The maybe pile.
Maybe put that in your phone
Someone
notes.
should write that down. No, I think that's a great idea because the maybe pile can live for a couple days.
Yeah, it almost has to, because if you're feeling icky,
Right.
You
Like
know?
you're bloated or you
Yeah,
ate
you're just
pizza
gonna put
that
things in that
night
pile
or,
and-
you know what I mean? Like it's just you feel yucky. You could be on the fence about those
Yeah.
clothes. It's just because you're having a yucky day.
Right.
But most of the time for me, it wasn't that. It was
Yeah,
like,
it was
this
it was
ship has
reality.
sailed. And, but like you said,
that's another title. I don't know what it would be about, but That Ship Has Sailed is a great title for an episode.
yeah.
When
So,
that
ladies,
ship has sailed. I love this.
Yeah. So, ladies, the bottom line here is, okay, remove everything out. Get rid of the things you no longer need, use, love, or make you feel good when you look at yourself in the mirror. Consign, donate, give to a friend, a sister. Color code your clothes. It's so important to do because it prevents you from overbuying the same things you already have. Change your hangers. Change them, please. I'm begging you.
Make them all the same color.
Same thing.
Maybe think about the flat ones because those will save space.
Exactly. If you have a small closet, the slimline hangers, and above all, keep a bag in your closet. And if you try something on and you're like, I'm never wearing this again, don't hang it back up. Put it in the bag.
All right, there you go. Okay, so what we've learned here is, well, first of all, we want to tell you this. Please tell our podcast about just one friend and join us in our ladies only Facebook group. That's the spiel for that. So basically what I'm hearing you say is when it comes to shoes that hurt your feet and all the other stuff, you can let it go.
And don't look back.